Okay, so we're back here at the National Championship Festival. Got an extra treat on the first field right now. So we've got the U14 BC1 against BC2. Pardon me, BC Gold against BC White. Not actually part of the National Championship Festival, but just happening at the same time in the same venue, and lots of rugby to be played this week, and happy to have these guys out on the field right now. So BC Gold taking it in. We just started momentarily. Scrum half trying to get back into position. That's on the Gold side. That's Carter Miller spinning it out wide. Good show and go from Coro. Now, Miller to the number 10. Jack Shear. And good burst down the left wing, but a tackle by one of the BC White players. Just getting the picture all set up and make sure everything is running. The U14 division is two BC teams, a Barbarian side, which is comprised of Ontario and Newfoundland players, I believe, and a side visiting from Washington. And they're playing in a round-robin style format, so they've been playing over the last few days, just really getting these players action out on the field. As we set up for a scrum on the far side of the field, it looks like it'll be a BC White put in. BC White players, Ty Turpa, Matt Stevens, Michael Nakle, Pandeep Hare, Michael Davidson, Max Dushnes, Corbin Bowen, Dace Norman at number 8, the captain, Liam Corey, as that ball gets booted up midfield. Chris Lloyd, Nick Todd, Jasper Bosley, Lachlan Kratz, Julian Tudor-Jones, Jaden Ned, Tarm Hawaka, Valen Garia, and Austin Arota. And finally, Reese Tudor-Jones as that ball gets taken into touch nearing BC White's try line. The BC Gold team, captain Harry David, Connor Klatt, Cole Dreyer, Ty Andrew, I believe, Hunter Grant, Dalen Hicks, Israel Bain, Coro, Carter Miller, Captain Jack Shear, PVR.
I think that's your handwriting, isn't it?
That's not mine. I'm just trying to read the manager for this BC team. Must be a doctor.
Get a script with that stuff later.
Connor Sinclair, Jansen, Jonathan Suttle, Tom Blackburn, James Hickson, Piers Von Danzelin, and Jim Newman rounding out the team for BC Gold. As that ball caught well by the number 14, Jansen, taken up into the contact area.
So these BC on BC games and the Ontario on Ontario games, gotta be tough because a lot of these guys know each other, but they don't hold anything back.
Great pace on the outside. It started with the captain, Jack Shear, distributing the ball to his backs. And we're just a meter or two out now from the Gold try line. It looks like we have our first score of the game. Not sure who quite put that ball down, but a try nonetheless. Doug, how important is it to have these young guys getting to play for their province at the age of 13 and 14?
Well, I think what it does is gets the competitive juices flowing and really switches a kid on who maybe his life surrounded video games and hanging out with his buddies and going, hey, there's a higher purpose here now, and maybe I will pay a little more attention in school and work harder in the gym and things like that because there's a reward at the end of the hard work, and it's trips and playing for your province and maybe eventually playing for your country. And so this is the first step on the way to that type of an experience.
This week, National Championship Festival has been more than just rugby, as that conversion sails a bit right. It's also been about teaching these athletes about high performance, and we've been having lots of seminars and sessions with the high performance staff, teaching them about nutrition and the right techniques with strength and conditioning, and also just giving them meeting Adam Kleberger, the 2011 Rugby World Cup Beardo, who had such fame during the games down in New Zealand. You know, meeting these guys and learning what it takes to be a high-performance athlete, and with rugby being in the upcoming Olympics and Women's World Cup next year, Men's World Cup the following year, it's important for these players who are the next generation of rugby Canadian talent to see what it's all about as that restart lands. It picked up by one of the BC Gold players. Still dodging some tackles. Good run by this young player, and he finally gets brought down. Tackle being made. Number 9.
Israel Bain making that great run for Team Gold.
Henry Devitt. Now to the co-captain. Shear making some good runs, popping it out. Jamie Larg. Not far from the try line now. Another good run. Looks like pretty close, and it has been held up. So BC White stopping another set of points coming in.
Initially, I thought we'd have the referee mic for this game, but I don't think they've mic'd up the referee, and unfortunately, we don't know who the referee is. This all sort of came together at the last moment that we're going to do this game on top of the other scheduled matches, but happy to bring you coverage of BC 1 versus BC 2 here.
As the ball's just on that far side nearing the touch line. BC Gold looking for their second try of the game as it gets spun out now to Sinclair. And a big tackle there by the BC White player. Just stood him in his tracks. Now, that ball bobbled but went backwards. Taken up now by Jansen. Popped into David. Rumbling towards the line. BC Gold has about 6 guys out left if they can spin it through the hands, and the number 14 is alone on the right-hand side. Just need to get the ball out as BC Gold is penalized for coming from the side. So BC White will have an opportunity to get out of harm's way.
Well, that's a great touch-finding kick. Boy, it's a pretty high skill level from a player that's under 14. You know, we call it U14. It's 14 and under, so I mean, they could be as young as 13, or I don't think you'd have any 12-year-olds.
No, I think the cutoff is 13. Yeah.
So looking at how these teams got here, BC 1 defeated the Barbarians, sort of collective team on Wednesday, 50-0. And then another big game was BC 1 and the Barbarians again on the Thursday, and it was a 5-all result, so quite a turnaround from a 50-0 result. And then looking at Ontario 1 beating Ontario, or sorry, I was looking at Ontario there. BC 1 beating Ontario 2, 66-0. BC 2 beating Ontario 1, 10-5. And then it was BC 2 that beat Washington, 50-0. So both big results for the BC teams.
Ball on the deck now. Both teams trying to secure possession as White. Opportunity to run up the field now.
I gotta say, you know, when you have this level of rugby U14, you can, I mean, every level of the sport you have size disparity, but boy, you've got some very big boys here at U14, and then some of the players that are playing in the back position, scrum half, especially in wings, they're just so much smaller than the other guys. They've really got to be brave to be going in there and making the tackles as they are.
Some of these guys hit their growth spurt young.
Yeah, I'd say there's some big grocery bills out there on some of these boys.
Ball couldn't quite use it on the wing. They had an extra man.
So it's going to be scrum time for these two. And, you know, there's probably been a lot of competition before these teams were made at training sessions. And this is really going to show both sets of coaches, did you select the right guy or not?
BC Gold on the attack, spinning it out. That's Sinclair. The ball is knocked on by Jansen. So we have one knock on back to the other, so it'll be a BC White ball. Reminding you that kickoff 7 o'clock tonight Pacific time. We've got the BC Bears against the Prairie Wolfpack. First Canadian Rugby Championship game of 2013. The CRC, as it's more well known, is the feeder into the men's national program. You take the best elite players from club and domestic rugby from the 4 different regions: BC, Prairies, Ontario, and the Rock. And these guys play in August and September, and that leads into the best players getting selected for the America's Rugby Championship. And that is a competition USA, Uruguay, Argentina, and Canada. That one's going to be hosted again by Rugby Canada at the Canadian Rugby Centre of Excellence in Langford, BC, October 11th, 15th, and 19th. And then players that are selected from that will go on the November tour for the national team. So it's all about building our players towards the men's national team and getting contracts to go play overseas and getting paid big money to do it. So it all starts at tournaments like these with getting our young players rugby action, representing their respective provinces, and then making it up to the so-called big leagues. As the play moves back on with BC Gold trying to string it through the hands, but dropped by Sinclair. So knock-ons just slowing this game down, but some good action by both sides.
Yeah, I think both teams have had some success this week throwing the ball around and scoring some tries. So, you know, sometimes you'll get a game we saw in the U16s where Newfoundland hadn't scored a try yet in the competition, and that was their tournament, just to try and score a try. But these teams have both scored a lot of points, and they've got a bigger desire, and that's to, you know, for the second rated, I wouldn't call them second place, but BC2 definitely wants to pip BC1. There's a lot of intent here. So the weather sure has perked up here from a cool morning. I thought people in the Vancouver area were going to hit the panic button when they saw the clouds after such perfect weather all summer long, but they weren't around for long.
This is coming from the guy who ran to the merch tent and bought a hoodie as soon as the sign of clouds.
It was chilly, ain't gonna lie. The humidity isn't around to keep you warm.
Both teams contesting the ball right now. Won by BC Gold and spun out. Good hands by the number 10. Trying to spin it, getting to that last player. Just bobbled, and I think we'll come back to the knock-on.
Might have been a forward pass in there as well, but anyway, it'll be, looks like they're lining up for a line out now. So the knock-on not picked up rather than line out. Nice take in the line from the Gold lineout jumper, number 5, Hunter Grant. Stolen.
A lot of times you're seeing in this age group where the U14s, where the players are, they're making the right decisions, but like that one there, they had the 2-on-1, right idea. He drew his man, just couldn't quite make the connection, and these are the basic skills that these players are starting to learn and really master. And you can see once they get up towards the U16, U18, those passes like that are going to be just second nature, taking the ball at pace, drawing the defender, and beating on the outside.
You know, often we talk about the second nature of skills such as hockey in Canada. Kids just playing street hockey their whole lives, and they develop those skills. And that's what you're starting to see with the younger rugby players in this country, that they do come prepared.
What a boot there by the fly half for BC White, but knocked on, not called by the referee, and Play moves on. BC White on the back heels now. I believe that's Ty Termpa. He takes it hard into contact.
The referee doesn't have an assistant referee. There's a couple of touch judges, but he's not getting the assistance from the sidelines that a mic'd up referee would receive.
So now, BC Gold on the attack as they've been most of this game. Taking it in now, Connor Klatt. Ball went backwards, bobbled, but now it's knocked on.
So pressure relief time. This will be interesting to see how on BC White does with kicking this ball out from their own in-goal area. And often that's where you'll see an inexperienced player maybe juggle the ball or bobble it and not get the clean kickoff. But there is a big boot back there in the form of the fly half, Chris Lloyd.
Putting the ball on the scrum now is the captain, Liam Corey. Spun out. And a good grubber kick into no man's land.
Didn't expect that, but a good result.
Chase is on. Picked up by the fullback. Popped back inside to his winger in support. Now about 5 forwards standing in the way, but the ball just moves out.
Another forward pass maybe there, but play continues.
Getting around the outside is Jay Pivier. Now, breaking down the left wing is one of the BC Gold players, and he will touch down for a try. I believe that's Ty Andrew. So BC Gold scoring their second try of the game. That one coming from Andrio. So we have a 10-0 game here. In the other field on the just beside us, you can see, pardon me, can't see, we can see the Washington going up against Barbarians, or pardon me, the Ontario team going up against the Barbarians, which is a mixture of guys. Still one more day of the National Championship Festival here at beautiful UBC in Vancouver, British Columbia. Lots of games happening, and we'll be streaming it throughout the entire time as that kick goes up and it goes through. Struck very well by the co-captain Jack Shear of this BC Gold side. You know, we're looking at these two teams. You've got some, a lot of great players have come through the ranks of this BC development team. Remember talking with Nathan Hirayama, Canada 7s and 15s international and star, about this tournament, and he said it was one of the best times playing with his team.
He's from Richmond, BC, and has a long rugby pedigree, but yeah, I think a lot of these players still recall fondly some of their first representative rugby experiences because it was the first step to a long career. And I mean, think of a guy like Hirayama and the traveling he's done and the experiences he's had, still in his mid-20s. Remarkable.
Kicked back now by BC White. Not coming up too quickly, but good run here by the BC Gold player. That is number 7, Israel Bain, and he's breaking tackles left, right, and center, and he will go the distance and score under the post with a big dive. And that was a 100% solo effort.
He is the bane of BC2's existence anyway, scoring that try right under the posts. You've had just about enough of me, haven't you? The pavilion area getting very busy as the afternoon progresses. And the superb bar area is enjoying lots of customers this afternoon. Not the guys working behind the mics, mind you. So the score's 19-0 for BC Gold. And sort of playing out to the form sheet. how these teams are selected, they did want to have what would be nominated as the sort of top BC side, and then another side of the depth chart of BC rugby. And there's a lot of talent. Don't get me wrong, in both these teams, but I think the BC Gold team is just enjoying a bit of a size advantage, maybe a bit of a speed advantage at certain positions, and that's proving to be the difference. The restart from number 13, Lachlan Kratz. And immediately, BC Gold just pounding up the middle. BC One having to respond, or BC White, I guess we'll keep calling them. Knock on there. Don't know if that was picked up. No, it doesn't look like it was. Now, big run down the wing. And BC Gold got another try in the offing here. Ball's gone BC2's way.
19-0, BC Gold leading BC White.
It's about 22 minutes gone in this game now, in the first half. These are 1-hour games. 2 30-minute halves. I know my gazintas. Figured this out. Big touch finding kick down the right wing for BC One. But it'll be. We got to settle. Are we calling them numbers or colors? Is it BC Gold and BC White?
I'm going gold and white.
Gold and white it is. All right. I'll stop referring to the numerical thing except for when the game is over. But just for if you're scoring at home, the gold team is BC One and white team is BC Two.
Now spinning it out. BC Gold, they've got one guy on the outside. Now Jansen, he gets tackled hard by 2 players, one of them being Lachlan Kratz. Now pop to Henry Devitt. Taken in by Hunter Grant. Good hands by the big player in gold. I guess I spoke too soon as that ball was dropped, but referee says play on. Good straight arm by the number 10, Jack Shear. Ball gets popped out wide. Can they hold on to it? No, it looks to be knocked on.
And close to the line now, not releasing the tackled. Well, hang on now. Oh, yeah, against BC White, they did not release the tackled player, and so that'll be a penalty. They'll be tucked in against their own line there. Everyone taking a knee now. Looks like a hostage situation or something. What's going on here?
So we're going to take a quick break while these guys take a quick break.
Is this protocol when there's an injured player, I guess, is that everyone goes down on one knee. I'll have to ask about that. I think I remember seeing that before, and I can't quite recall what the reason for it is, except that maybe it keeps everyone on equal footing.
As we get set to continue on. Popped, passed, and now run forward by Devitt. Still going, finally get brought down. It looks like we have another try, so the loose head prop scores the 4th try of the game for BC.
I think
Gold, that is.
The interesting thing we're seeing here is there's some pretty good skill level by both teams, but because they're under 14 and they're still developing physically, you don't have that crazy mad fitness you might get in a couple of years that you're seeing in the under 16s, and that they sort of it remains to be seen, can they play for an hour under great pressure and things like that, because I don't know too many 14-year-olds that hit the gym and work out and do mad cardio and everything like that. They're just playing off of the energy that kids have at that age, and which is sadly lacking in my children at home, who apparently are being slowly swallowed by the couch. But the BC players on both sides just ripping it up and having a good afternoon. And the flag, that's a tremendous kick. Oh-wee. That's Jack Shear getting that one. Push the score to 26-0.
Must be nearing the end of the first half, couple minutes left.
Yeah, I'd say just about that. So it'll be exciting getting to the final rounds tomorrow here. Check the nationalfestivalrugby.com website for all the matchups as the day's play completes. We'll update the website and let you know what games you'll be seeing on Sunday.
Lachlan Kratz with the restart.
That went back, so no knock-on called there. Bit of a BC Gold bounce. Pressure time now. BC White stepping out of that one tackle, spinning the ball back. Sorry, I started doing play-by-play. Off you go.
No worries, I wasn't stopping you. As we have a penalty awarded to BC White, one of the first times they've been inside the Gold's territory, so let's see if they can get something going. Taken hard into contact by one of those players. And great counter-rucking by Gold, but play moves on. BC White, they've got numbers on the outside if they can use it. That ball looked to have gone forward, but play moves on. Now, number 23, don't have the number for that. Don't have the name, but good run. Now White, gonna maintain possession. Ball pops out. Dace Norman spinning it out. Ball playing on advantage to BC Gold off the White knock-on. At about the 50 now, Gold. Ball pops out the back of the ruck. Big looping spin pass. And a good shimmy and go by Coro. Now, given to the co-captain, Jack Shear. And a good tackle there by one of the White players to force the ball out and create a knock-on. So we'll be playing on the earlier knock-on. Big tackle by Pandeep Hayar.
So it's a bit of a chance here for White setup. They've got all kinds of space out to their right, and that will give them an opportunity to spread the ball wide. Spinning down the line now. White being stood up by the Gold defenders. And that ball's been stolen now, going back the other way. Players throwing their hands in the air to indicate that they may be in an offside position. They'll learn not to do that in the future. Nothing worse than letting the referee know that maybe you're not where you're supposed to be. They'll figure that out on their own. And that'll take us to halftime as BC 2 is trailing BC 1, or Gold is leading White 26-0, and we'll take a quick break in the action. Back with more after this.
We are back underway here, second half of the final National Festival Championship Day 4 game today. U14 boys, we've got the BC Gold team taking on BC White. BC Gold currently holding on to a 26-0 lead. Taking it up into contact now. Kicked forward by one of the BC White players. Trying to dive on that ball and finally doing so is Max. Sorry if I butcher this one, but Duchnese. Good play by both these sides in the first half, and another great boot there by Jack Shear, the co-captain. And that is a fantastic kick there as it lands at about half and goes out of bounds. That is stuff that you wouldn't even see in some U16, U18 teams. We'll have a line out to BC White. Line out, won by BC White off the top. Taken up into contact. Liam Corey popping it up, given to one of the other players. Now Pandeep Hayar, and just making some yards down that left touchline, but just going out of bounds. And we'll have a line out now for BC Gold just outside the 22. Picked up, but the referee saying it was not straight. Ball knocked on at the back of the scrum. So it'll be a BC Gold put in. Been lots of great rugby this week during the National Championship Festival. Be concluding tomorrow with games starting at 8:30, wrapping up at early afternoon, about 2 or 3 o'clock, with games in all the divisions: men's, women's, U14, U16, U18. BC Gold now. And another good kick here coming from Jack Shear, the co-captain, and a big tackle after the catch by the BC White winger. Taken into contact by Jaden Ned. And a fake switch there by the number 16. That was Tarm. BC White with the possession now, but popped free and taken up by one of the BC Gold players. Ball bouncing free. Taking it up now is Matt Stevens. Good run there by the hooker. And that player was unfortunately offside, so we will have a penalty awarded to BC White. We'll see if they hit touch or try to just go quickly. Booted forward now. Chases on. Taken out of bounds by one of the White players. So it'll be a Gold lineout. Ball thrown in. Bobbled by one of the players, so we have advantage to White as we could have our first try of the game, and yes, we do. That ball was taken in and scored by Pandeep Hayar. And finally, the BC White side getting on the board. Shows the importance of being able to win your lineouts, as that ball was knocked on, and White capitalizing right away for their first score of the game. Conversion attempt coming from Lachlan Kratz. Ball struck well, but missed on the left-hand side. So we have a 26-5 scoreline. BC Gold leading BC White here in the U16 boys division. As we await the restart, coming from Jack Shear. Pass the commentary duties over to the capable hands of Doug Cross.
Pulling the early dinner shift there as Brian Kelly's going to go get himself some good barbecue chicken. It's been a long day of work out here and still more to come as we see BC White spinning it out wide. Gold benefiting now from the knock-on. Steady scrum by Gold. Fortunately, we don't have a number 23 Gold on our lineup sheet, so he shall remain nameless. Israel Bain now working it hard down that wing. Very pragmatic approach by this Gold team. Ball stolen by White, but not before the penalty. Her hands in the ruck. Quick tap ball the option. Henry Davitt being encouraged to get across the line with his size. Flag up, however. So White will have the line out here. They're in a tough situation now. They're down 26-5. Good to see them crossing the try line there here in the second half. But they need to get control of this ball and kick it down the park as far as they can. Now throw over the top. That wouldn't be the percentage play, I wouldn't have thought. And now nearly charged down, but it'll be an easy counterattack from inside the White 22-meter line. Gold players arriving in numbers to secure that ball. Now another penalty. Now it's White leaving their feet at the breakdown. It might be a yellow card now. Repeated infringements at the breakdown, and referee has whistled, and everyone's going to one knee. Also an injured player out there. Maybe that's what this is for, but I thought maybe there was going to be a yellow card. So some confusion as to maybe who's coming or going. Now the referee, with all that taken care of, is going to, I think, send one of the White players off for repeated infringement. Okay. So ultimately, I guess I thought a player might be going. All a bit confusing. Players taking one knee as the referee blows his whistle. It's a new experience. So ultimately still penalty to the gold team. And now chip to the wing is on offer. Nice high ball. White will have to deal with it off the hands of 13, Lachlan Kratz. And White has managed to clean that up nicely. Quick offload from Julian Tudor-Jones. And some aggressive play from the flanker in white, Max Duchins. But that ball is stolen by Gold now. On the attack, just outside the 22. A chip to the wing, no one home. This might be a try. It is for number 11, Gold, Nick Todd. Putting it across, a well-constructed try. Fly half spotted, no one home defensively, and it was the easiest of chips across the line and bounced at just the right moment to push Gold to a 31-5 lead with probably another 12-14 minutes left in this game. Chris Lloyd, wearing number 10 for the Gold team, will be taking this kick at goal. Conditions absolutely beautiful now here out at UBC Wolfson Fields in the Gerald McGavin Rugby Pavilion. Just checking the updated current temperature, 25 Celsius now after a cool start to the day. It really didn't start getting cooking till after 2 o'clock, but now we're doing all right just after 5 in the afternoon Pacific. Lloyd taking a moment to consider his kick. Oh, I'm sorry, that's number 20 taking that kick for the Gold team, and we don't have a number 20. Lloyd on the white team, got those lists reversed. So, scoreboard at the field, not updated yet. It says 26-5, but it's actually 31-5. Did that kick go across? No, it did not. So we'll stay at 31-5. Quick spin pass down the line. Gold trying to construct another try here inside their own half. Oh, and that started off to be a high tackle, but they brought it down, so that's okay. Both teams leaving it all on the field. And now not rolling away in the tackle. Interfering with play at the breakdown. Lloyd quick taps the ball, but now referee asks for it back at the original mark he had set. And at some point you do have to enforce that, because how much, you can't have someone gaining a lot of advantage in that situation. And maybe a 10-15 meter advantage kick down the line for Lloyd. It'll be line out right at halfway. The hooker's Connor Klatt. I'll throw this in. Oh, big chance here for the Gold team. Lloyd slicing through the white defense. Has the presence of mind to offload to Davitt. And now offside, the call against the white team. Now just a couple of meters out. And now another penalty, and maybe this time the card will come out. Sounds like referees had enough. No, ask them to stay back 10 on those situations. That's the wing, Nick Todd. Nope, Jai Pierre. And that is another try for the gold team. I think it's Jai Pierre. 36 points on the board now, and you may find the referees, if a score's getting one-sided, the instinct is to say, well, let's shave 5 minutes, 4 minutes off this game. You got to be careful of that because, if you're not doing that in this whole tournament, you're just doing it in select games. Some teams are getting a bit of an advantage. They're getting a rest break where other teams are working for their whole 1 hour. If you start doing 55 minutes here and 54 there and things like that. So I think the instinct will be, unless there's, a physical danger or maybe the kids are really exhausted, that they'll play the whole time. Flags go up for Lloyd. Pushing the score to 38-5. So probably only about 5 minutes left in this game. Don't forget, chance to watch Canadian Rugby Championship season opener between the Prairie Wolfpack and the hometown BC Bears here at Gerald McGavin Rugby Pavilion. Go to CanadianRugbyChampionship.com website for the link to that game, or you can check it out on Rugby Canada's YouTube channel. And we've put the links there as well. And you'll be able to watch that game live on YouTube's new live channel. This is the first event we've done using YouTube Live, and we had a few wrinkles to understand, but now it's pretty darn great service, and people are enjoying the instant archiving and just the quality that YouTube offers. It's Julian Tudor-Jones. He's lost the ball, and now kicked by the flanker from the white team. That's Max Duchesnes. Jonathan Soodle is doing well on the counter attack, but now drop ball by White. And that's just a sign of fatigue as these players are working hard, but on their 4th day of competition. U14s in particular playing a couple of times a day at times. Our thanks to camera girl extraordinaire Jillian for putting in another long day. One more to go. She's been providing great pictures for us along with her other colleagues that have dropped in. If you want your games streamed online, go to sportcanada.tv, and Shoyal Brown can get you set up with what you need to get your team or league online. Not as hard as you think. As long as you got some internet, you're off to the races. Now, clearance kick by White 16, Tom Blackburn. It was a kick up the middle, and now immediately paying the price as Matt's Connor Klatt comes back. So the gold team to within a couple of meters of another score. White putting the pressure on from the breakdown, but look at the size of the big boys trying to pound up the middle. And the white team trying to drag that ball carrier down. Shifting inside, and that'll be another try. I want to say that was Brohan Jansen. So I wonder if we might hear the final whistle at this point. 43-5, but now there's still enough time left on the clock, at least 2 or 3 minutes that they, from my point earlier, they should play those. So we're going to stick with 38. Looking at some papers and didn't see that conversion or not, but the local scoreboard saying 38, so I shall defer to the person on the ground. That's Connie McGinley running the scores over there. Great person to know and great rugby person. She has just been around this game forever and loves helping out wherever she can. And here she is burning a summer weekend to help the National Championship Festival. Stalwart of the Marilomas Club. Mariloma's not far from our location here. They've been very helpful with things like equipment and line painting gear and things like that. So much goes into putting these tournaments on. We'd like to thank all the volunteers that have come out over the week, giving up their own time to help in the merchandise tent and help at the front gate and give people directions and just all manner of things that you might not think about when you're putting an event together. And they say, well, hang on, we need to have a person here and a person there. And you know, we don't have budget to pay for that, but you put the call out for volunteers, and they're just happy to be part of something good like this national festival. Now, threat down the line here by the gold team. Look at the pace on the winger, number 11, Jai Perrier. And now penalty not releasing the ball after he was tackled. Perrier is going to retreat. And now time off being called. We have another player down. We'll have the physiotherapist attend this player. Oh, nearly saw who that was. That's flanker number 7 for the white team, Corbin Bowyer. Sorry, Corbin Bauer. Think of another player named Bowyer. And will he stay in this game? Yeah, I think he's just getting maybe a Band-Aid or something. Oh, no, just getting his nose cleaned up. I think there's a little bit of blood there. Getting down to the thin end of the watch, and I think the referee's saying, you know what, we're almost wrapped up here. Why don't we either call this game or substitute player or maybe even play shorthanded for a minute. But Bauer is off the field, so they are indicating a substitute. Not sure if they've got anyone left on their bench. And no replacement coming in as of yet. And this is a kick to the wing as far as I can tell, but it was a kick from him for the touch that they should have been going after. Instead, they kicked across the field. Interesting choice. So Gold with the put in. The white flankers trying to put the Gold team under some pressure, but they are so deft at passing. And now a bit of an awkward kick down the line by the wingers, Pierre, but White have managed to rope that in quickly. And now that ball's gone to ground from number 13, Lachlan Kratz. Davitt, the front rower, getting that pass out to number 8, Koro Kokobasa. Some driving action from the second row for British Columbia Gold. That was Michael Davidson. And I think the next play will probably be the last play of this game. And we will stop and get ready for the 7 o'clock kickoff of the Prairie Wolfpack versus the BC Bears. BC Gold with one more chance to possibly cross the whitewash here. They'll turn it inside. It's the fly half. Lloyd. Sorry, not Lloyd. Jack Shear. Pierre. Flicks that back inside from the fullback, Jaden Ned. And gutting it out to the gory end, the Gold team now knocking that back and into touch, and that should bring festivities to an end. Oh, boy, the referee opting to keep going here. Getting their money's worth. Quick ball down the line, knock on by Jack Shear. Can White get another score here late in this game? And there is no quit in this team. Looking for the offload now. More than 50 meters from where they started. And that's Pandeep Hayar keeping the ball alive. And another offload, this time to Jasper Bosley. The wing this side, Julian Tudor-Jones. Back to Bosley. And BC White rather enjoying things now. Penalty. Offside. So now a quick tap from the scrum half. Liam Corey. That's Hayar, second row. Hayar's going to score just at the line. His teammates indicating that a try had been scored, but no, it's knocked forward, or maybe a forward pass down in that corner. Oh, and after consultation, try awarded. So Pandi Payar, the second row, getting that ball across and doubling his team's account to 38-10. We'll take the conversion kick. I've stopped guessing how much time is left, but you know, we're 6 minutes after 5. This game started at 4, and it's a 1-hour game with a 5-minute halftime, so pretty even bet that time will have run out at that point. Conversion attempt falls short, and that will be full time on this U14 contest. BC1 beating BC2 38-10. It's been a pleasure bringing you this coverage, and we will call it an afternoon from Field 1. Back with more rugby action at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 Eastern, as the BC Bears host the Prairie Wolfpack. Thanks for watching, and talk to you shortly.